Hello, Warpugs. Well, I am getting things ready over here, a little bit at a time. I have everything set up, ready to go. All we're waiting on now is Sassy to let us know that she's ready to go. Once she lets us know she's ready to go, this whole thing's going to kick off. I have a bunch of tracks, about, I don't know, 2.5 hours worth of music just sitting to the side waiting. All this other kind of stuff. Would you stop walking over stuff? Please, and thank you. What is your problem? Can you not? Go on. My cat keeps on doing this junk. Now, we're just waiting right now. Me and my wife are just sitting here waiting. So, yeah, we're just waiting. That's all we're doing. If you don't know what in the world I'm talking about, one of my pugs is about to give birth. Get out of here. And we're going to be doing a puppy stream. And we've already set up everything. We actually just went out and bought a new laptops just for the stream. My wife has a GoPro set up. I just finished setting all that up. So it's been a lot of setup, a lot of stuff going on. Just a mountain of stuff. In fact, I didn't even turn off my other light. I actually like it with the other light on. A little bit more brighter, a little bit more everything like that. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But today we're not here for that because we have a shenanigans request that got pushed over to the wayside a little bit. And this is Creative Weapons of the Medieval Era. And this is by the Salmonella Academy. Okay? So, love Salmonella Academy. Funny guy. Puts out some really cool information. So, and most of the time, it's just stuff that he finds interesting. And that's the thing. If anybody thinks about doing something like this, where you're doing a YouTube channel or like my lore video, anything like that, if you have questions, just send me a message. I'll help you out in any way I can. Just be you, you know? And if this isn't you, just don't do it. One of the two. But let's get into this. Let's find out about what Salmonella considers an interesting weapon for the medieval era. Let's go. All the links are going to be in the description down below, including my own. Uwu Platoon shirt is up. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Shutting up. Let's go. That is really loud in my ears. I'm just letting you know.
Hey kids, when most people think of the Middle Ages, they think of them as being like humanity's dumb teenage years, where all we did was play harpsichord in our room and burn heretics with our friends. But that's not entirely true. In fact, I would argue that
I can't wait till the grim dark of the 40th millennium so I can do the same thing.
Medieval era saw just as much genius as any other period in time. It's just most of that genius went towards finding new and creative ways to brutally slaughter those you disagree with. Here's a few highlights.
Let's
First,
go.
we'll talk about the werewolf. So, as you can imagine, medieval castles were not easy to break into.
No.
They were basically like those jungle gym things at Chuck E. Cheese's. Massive in size, intentionally confusing layout, security everywhere, and by the end of your visit, you'd probably end up with some kind of disease. So in order to help penetrate fortresses, medieval armies would often utilize siege weapons, one of the most popular of which was the trebuchet. Now this device is interesting enough on its own, but it gets better. So around 1300 AD, King Edward I of England was in the process of invading Scotland. However, one fortress known as Stirling Castle was
The Longshanks.
giving him a lot of trouble. He laid siege to the building for many months without any real progress. Then one day, he woke up and had a revelation.
Oh,
Hey
okay.
guys, listen, why are we wasting our time building all these regular-sized trebuchets when we could just build one giant one and call it a day? So that's what he did. This gargantuan war machine was known as the Warwolf and stood at around 6 stories tall. To give a bit of perspective, this is about as tall as King Kong was in his largest film depiction. So basically, picture a giant fucking ape launching boulders like they're baseballs, and you've got a pretty good idea of what the Warwolf was capable of. It was so intimidating that when the Scots saw the English constructing the beast outside the castle, they immediately surrendered out of fear. But then Edward was like, ha, fuck that, I'm gonna test this bad boy out, and proceeded to take pot shots on the castle anyway. Another devious product of the Middle Ages was a flammable substance known as Greek fire. Contrary to popular belief, Greek fire was not invented by the ancient Greeks. Rick Riordan, you lying prick. It was actually invented in the 7th century AD by the Byzantines, who happened to inhabit Greece at the time. Historians still don't know exactly what it was made of, but they do.
No idea what this was made of at all. Nobody knows what into Greek fire.
You know that it acted a lot like napalm, sticking to ships, sticking to people, even floating and continuing to burn on the surface of the water. The Byzantines also had these siphon-like tubes that they'd put on the front of their boats to pour Greek fire on the enemy, kind of
Flamethrowers. Yay! War crimes!
like makeshift flamethrowers. These were retired pretty quickly though, mostly because when you put the words makeshift and flamethrower next to each other, you're bound to run into some problems eventually. Our next bright idea comes from a woman known as Olga of Kiev. So Olga was a princess who ruled the area around the capital of modern-day Ukraine from 945 to 963 AD. And she had quite a track record for being just a total badass. For example, the Drevlians, a tribe of people under Kiev's control, once sent 20 men to Kiev in order to convince Olga to marry their prince, under the pretense that if they did marry, the prince could claim her rule over Kiev. In response, she had all 20 of them buried alive. She then sent a letter to the prince saying she accepted his proposal, but she would need a bunch of his most distinguished governors to escort her on the journey. Once the men showed up, Olga was like, "Hey guys, long journey, huh? How'd you like to take a bath in this here bathhouse?" They were like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds great." "Okay, have fun, you guys." Man, it's like a sauna in here. It is a sauna, dipshit. You have
Eastern Europe, man. Not even once.
a point. So long story short, this lady just did not give a heck. My favorite story about her starts with her besieging a Drevlian city that refused to pay tribute to her. The people in the city were already well aware of the type of rampaging that Olga was capable of, so they were already scared shitless. But when she showed up, she was like, "Alright, you know what guys, I'm gonna play nice. Just bring me 3 pigeons and 3 sparrows from each household and I'll be on my way."
Oh god.
Okay. What are they for exactly? We're just hungry. I mean, we got some food too. We could just give... I'm sorry, did I fucking stutter? Alright, birds of this. Then, once the creatures were in Olga's hands, she had each of her soldiers tie a cloth-bound piece of sulfur to one of the birds' feet, which was then set alight. The birds were then released all at once, and when they flew back into the city, their nests acted like little piles of tinder, resulting in nearly every house in the entire city erupting in flames simultaneously. And while the whole place burned to the ground, Olga just sat and watched.
Yep, nothing like a good old-fashioned barbecue was...
By the way, it's worth mentioning that, after her death, Olga was canonized as a Catholic saint, presumably around the same time as Saint Tiffany, who went around pushing in the soft spots of babies, and Saint Jerry the Goat Fucker, who, as the name implies, fucked a lot of goats. In conclusion,
Makes
pay
sense.
your taxes. To my loyal subscribers, I'll see you in 3 months. I'm Sam Manella, and thank you for watching.
It always bears explaining why certain things are the way they are. The werewolf was apparently... like... that's actually impressive. Like, they don't build them like they used to, is a very, very accurate statement when it comes to machines like this. Because, my God, what the hell? On top of that, what the absolute hell? And then, there needs to be an anime made about this woman. I'm just saying, anime or something like that. I don't care what. You can just pick something, Warpugs, and we can go from there. Every single entry on this list was a Good Times Rhymes with War Crime scenario. I'm just saying. Warpugs, Sam Manella Academy, all links in the description down below. One thing to be perfectly clear on is the sheer fact that this woman, Olga, you can't fix her. Okay? So stop thinking it. Because I know as soon as you guys heard this, half of you sat there and were like, I can fix her. No, you can't. She don't need fixing. You don't try to fix this level of crazy, okay? Seriously, just stay away, because she will not just burn your clothes, she'll burn you. That's all I got to say about that. Warpugs, I'm heading out. Hopefully we'll have some puppy news later. But just watch for a live stream. I'll catch you guys next time.